We will recess to solid waste. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call aim?
Sabrina?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Just a moment. Hey, Amy, can you call Janet Kovac in, please?
Yeah.
I have a question and it's
For solid waste?
Yes.
Hi, can you come back about a solid waste question? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Morning, Janet. Come on in.
Janet, just so you know. Janet, I have a question for you. Can you just go over briefly with me what the hiring process is from posting the job to selecting the final candidate to when it comes into us as commissioners to approve?
Yeah.
Morning. Good morning,
Good
Chris.
morning, Chris.
It starts off with the director coming to you requesting to post a position, and they fill out that personnel requisition form. And then it comes to us after you approve for the posting. We prepare the posting, we post it on our bulletin boards, the county website, Ohio's jobs, and any other website or association that the department wants. So we post it, and it will post it for whatever the time month that the department wants. It could be 2 weeks, it could be a month,
Yeah.
generally it's 2 weeks. So then the postings are posted. At that point, as applications come in, we'll send them over to the department.
Okay.
Departments like JFS or something, they'll wait until the posting ends, and then they'll come up at once and look at all the applications.
Okay.
But departments that aren't in our building, we send them to them, we send the applications to the director or whatever contact they tell us. So we'll send the applications over to the department, and they review them.
Okay.
And then after the posting, they'll come back to, when the posting ends, they'll come back to us and say, you know, we would like, they'll have us do reference checks. So they'll have us do, you know, can you do reference checks on these few people, you know? And we'll do the reference checks, and then we send the reference checks over back to the department. And then the department director, they make a decision on who's the best qualified candidate. And then they tell us, and then we prepare the personnel action form. And then that's when we come to you guys.
The one in question, as you see, we received a letter from Charles Dean regarding his application. And I recall on April 4th, he was on the agenda to be approved, both by Bill Steiner, our director, and as well as you, as our HR director. And at the time when the application was pulled, there was a lot of sidebar conversations going on. I asked Bill Steiner, I said, do we need to pull this? And you know, he had like a disgruntled look on his face. He goes, yeah. I said, why are we pulling? He said, well, we need to verify some stuff. And to my knowledge, by the time it comes to us to approve, other than maybe contingency on a background check or something, it's pretty much a done deal. Would you say that's correct? With the exception, so how was this applicant treated differently than any other applicant? And the reason I ask this is, as you know, CDL drivers are in demand, okay? We have a problem with them out at solid waste. Right now, you know, we're accumulating a lot of overtime. We're burning out what few drivers we have. And it was my understanding there were 4 applicants that was received. Mr. Dean was the selected one by our director. and you agreed with that to bring it to us. So can you tell me where we're at with that? Because until I got this letter, I forgot that we had pulled it, because it's very rare that it comes to us and that we pull it unless there's a reason. So can you tell me why this specific application has not been brought back for approval when the vacancy is still open? Mr. Dean was the most qualified applicant, and why we still have a vacancy?
I am, from a department's perspective, I'm unable to answer that question. That would be more for a department, but I can tell from my perspective, at that time, I don't believe, and I'm 100%, almost 100% clear or sure, I don't believe reference checks were done at the point that we brought in the personal action form. I was under the impression that they were done, but that was the week, Jenna does our reference checks. And that was the week that I think she was nearing her end of her vacation or something. And so when I got the call from the director saying, take this to the commissioners, at that point, because usually by that point, everything's done, and we're doing references and everything's done. So that's the only thing I know for sure, that at that point, reference checks were not done at that point that we brought in the personal action form.
So would that not be something that your department would have verified before you brought it to the journal entry? Because it's my understanding that this was the director's recommendation and that it was pulled because a certain commissioner questioned it, met with the director, and was basically told, you need to look at other applicants. The other 3 applicants were not as qualified as Mr. Dean. And for you, as the HR director, to say you don't know is very disappointing to me, because I'm sure you're very aware of what's going on with this.
I usually don't look at the applications. I leave it up to the department director to review their applications.
So how did we know the verifications were not done then?
So I double checked it. I mean, because at that point when it comes to me, I mean, 99.9% of the time, the references are done.
So this has been almost exactly 2 days from now, a month since this was pulled. Are you telling me references have not been done?
No, they've been done.
30 days later?
No, they've been done. They've been
Okay.
done, yes.
Most people would not give bad references.
Yeah.
So why has this not been brought back?
I've been told not to.
You've been told not to, by who? I'm asking you, on the record, who told you not to bring this back?
I will answer that on the record and say that I told her not to bring that back.
And why is that?
Because I am not ready to support this hire.
Why? I want to hear the reason why you are not ready to support this. Because he's a qualified hire, he has a clean driving record, he just passed his 2-year physical. It looks nothing but like political politics. There's no place for partisan politics at this local level, Kathleen.
I agree that there is no place for partisan politics at the local level, and there were many qualified applicants for this position, and
That is not true.
Mr. Dean was not the most qualified applicant.
That is not
I
true.
am about hiring the most qualified people for
Kathleen?
our positions at the county.
I'm going to interrupt you there. There was 4 applicants. Ed Dean was the most qualified candidate.
There were many more than
When
4 applicants.
when does a commissioner override our director? Commissioners normally don't get involved in the hiring process. That's what we have directors for. Do you know how to run the solid waste district? Are you a CDL driver? Because there's a problem here. You're costing the taxpayers money by not allowing this hire to go through, and it stands to stand but nothing but political.
You are entitled to your opinion. You're wrong on the facts. There
No.
were many more applicants than 4.
There was 3 other. Nope.
No, there weren't. There
Okay.
were more than 10.
And I was also told by Commissioner Clyde that no other applicant was interviewed, and that was not correct. I talked to Bill Steiner, he said, no, that is not true. So what is going on here?
You know, I don't remember telling you no other applicants.
Yeah, you told me Tuesday.
Sabrina, that
The
is not
problem,
true.
I said there's gonna be issues over this because this stinks. This looks like, oh no.
You did say that, but I
Okay,
did
you
not
can,
say.
Vicky, you
it-
can say what you want. I know what I heard because I immediately called our director and I said, did you not interview any other candidates of the 4 that were? And he said, yes, I did. I said, okay, because Vicky seems to think that you didn't interview anyone else.
That is a lie.
Well
That is a
then,
lie.
you know what? You will have to face your lies because I know what you told me. So, back to this applicant. Again,
I did not say
is
that.
it normal that commissioners intervene with the hiring process? Are you an expert at solid waste, Kathleen?
I'm not gonna answer your questions about.
Because you
this
know
is
why?
political
This is,
grandstanding.
no, it's not
Yes,
political
it is.
grandstanding. This is politics at its best. We have a qualified candidate and our HR director and our director was told, you need to look elsewhere, when there was nothing wrong with this applicant.
Sabrina, I would like to know, how would I know the only one was interviewed? I didn't talk to Bill about who he interviewed.
Yeah, you did, you knew, okay,
I did
you
not
know what,
ask
Vicky,
Bill who he
you
interviewed.
know what, don't criminalize yourself on record,
Oh,
just
look,
just
I
be quiet.
resent that.
Well,
Don't tell
you
me to be
resent
quiet.
it. Well, you know what? Why
I
don't you
did not.
lie?
I
Where
did
would
not.
I have got that from?
You made it up, I think.
Oh, I made it up.
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
I must have made it. Unlike you, Vicky, I can remember from day to day. I remember Tuesday you saying, "Well, the problem was Bill never interviewed anyone else." I said, "Really? He only interviewed Ed Dean." So I called our
I
director
don't
and
even know
asked
that
him.
he interviewed Ed Dean. I don't know who he interviewed.
Okay, play dumb, Vicky. That's fine.
I don't have to
Oh,
play
Okay,
that.
okay, no. I am bringing up a valid point. This is nothing but political politics at its very best. There is no place for partisan politics. Ed Dean is the most qualified person, and you have told our director and our HR director, Kathleen Clyde, not to look at Ed Dean's application, and there is no valid reason not to.
With that, I'm gonna move to adjourn solid waste.
I will not second, and I am not done. I want to know what's going to be done about this. Because you have a valid applicant, and we
I
have a
think the
shortage in
direct-
CDL
The
director.
director needs to be brought in on this, I think. I don't think we need to make.
The
a
director brought this in. This was his recommendation, Vicky.
decision.
We
I
had a
second the motion to
commissioner
adjourn
that
solid waste.
overturned.
Roll call in.
You can do whatever you want, Vicky, and
Yes.
ignore the facts.
Kathleen?
Yes.
I'm not ignoring it.
But
Sabrina?
this is not
Did
done.
they test the,
Yeah, we did.
okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's what I should.
No.
Moving on. Thanks, Jen.
Would you call and see if Brad could come up early?
Do you wanna do an executive session about our employment compensation issues?
Sure.
So I will move to go into executive session for G1 to consider the compensation of a public employee.
For where? What is this for? Excuse me. Where are you at that we're doing that for a public person for compensation? Where's that on the agenda?
We can have a executive session without.
With the county treasurer?
No,
No.
no.
Well, who are we seeing next? I thought you asked for Brad to come up.
I did, and Kathleen asked if we could have an executive session before Brad comes up, and I said yes. Not for
Okay.
Brad.
Hey, Amy, anybody? Okay, she heard us.
I'll second. You'll have to leave, Ms. Raines.
Yeah, after the vote,
Pardon me?
after the vote.
Oh, yeah, I second. Amy will
Roll call in.
What are we going in for? I'm sorry.
A G1 compensation of a public employee.
Okay, the motion?
I have moved and Sabrina
Yes,
seconded.
Okay, Kathleen,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.